Miss Blake. She'll be right here in the back with information on how you can invest in these three projects. At this time, I want to ask Miss. Oh wait, am I switching up here? Okay, all right. So the hardest, no, the second hardest work in CG. You said the look him give me after I said that. The second, because it's two of them, you never know, say AI duplicate him. The first, the hardest one is somewhere else. This is the second hardest one and duplicated today. AI duplicate him. All right, the hardest work in CG, Mr. Oliver Mair.
Thank you so much, Xavier. You know, Xavier, we have Jamaicans.com covering the event, and it's the largest Jamaican platform started by this gentleman here, Mr. Xavier Murphy. Let's give him a big round of applause. I want to thank Nora for that presentation. And those charities, we have several charities here that can actually go on the Jamaica Social Stock Exchange. So feel free to talk to Nora. And for those of you, just by show of hands, how many persons have an account with the Jamaica Stock Exchange or do any sort of trading or have any stocks in Jamaica? If you have stocks in Jamaica, just raise your hand. Or let me do the other way around. If you don't have any stocks in Jamaica, put it up. No man, put it up like you're proud, man. Put it up like you're proud. Mr. Cameraman, come take the picture right away. Catch that. Ladies and gentlemen, I challenge you today. Reach out, speak to Nora, start an investment portfolio in Jamaica. It's the easiest opportunity to earn a piece of the rock, all right? Every week, I buy stocks. I don't have much money, but I buy stocks every week from the comfort of my office. You can do it online, and the values are great. The Jamaican companies are doing extremely well. It's a good time to buy. I can't give investment advice formally, so that's my disclaimer. But it's a great time to buy. All the analysts agree that Jamaica is doing very well, and now is the time to buy. True or false? Mr. Grant? Captain? Excellent, excellent. We practiced that earlier doing a rubber. Okay, let us give it. So ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I want to welcome you again to our lecture series. We're keeping it going. Thank you all for coming. And I want to thank each of you for being a part of the Jamaica High Five that had a record turnout this year across all the races, over 1,500 people. So I'm going to give you a quick video here now and brag and boast. This is a 92 years old, ran the 5K.
I love the people. I love just being here. And as I'm an exercise enthusiast, this is just up my street. Hope to goodness at 93, I'll be here next year. Jamaica, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna see Jamaica love. Now I never present the synthesis of Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. I think we're telling the people, and I'm done it. Jamaica love, we wanna feel Jamaica love. Everybody wanna visit Jamaica. Jamaica love, Jamaica. Jamaica love, we wanna see Jamaica love. Now I'll never present the synthesis of Jamaica.
Excellent, and I'm sure you next year, I just allow them to beat me this year. You know? Next year I'm coming for every striking one of them. But you have to be gracious as the host, right? So ladies and gentlemen, we have used the 5K. It was our 5th anniversary. We have adopted 5 clinics. One of the clinics we'll be handing over on June 20th in Jamaica. So we're putting together a big group to go down to Jamaica for the Diaspora Conference, first of all, and then on the 20th, we will hand over the 5th clinic in Bamboo, St. Anne. So we're inviting the community to come along with us and also to join us for the Diaspora Conference, which takes place every 2 years. So you can sign up today. There's an early bird special, Diaspora Conference, ja.eventbrite.com. And if you register here this evening, just tell me your name. I'll have a surprise for you. May make you sing in public. So, and we have some nice specials, but we're putting together a big team to go down to Jamaica. Now, a big surprise. Tomorrow evening, I have been asked to bowl. You may talk about bowl? That will tell you how left field I am. To pitch the first baseball in a match. The Marlins versus the Mets. I've never played baseball in my life. Somebody thought it was a very good idea to invite me to pitch the first ball. Yes, you can clap me, man. No, a gentleman said, make sure you practice. I did a side visit, and the first thing the gentleman said, sir, have you ever played baseball? I said, never played it before. So, sir, if I were you, I would actually do some practice. You don't want to embarrass yourself in front of 30,000 people, you know, just practice. But don't worry, I'm going to be practicing all day tomorrow. YouTube is available. I'm going to be watching, and I already have that part down pat, right? I just need to get this part, right? But we're inviting you to come out and support, because all the funds that will be raised will go towards scholarships in Jamaica, and it's through the Friends of the University of the West Indies group. And I want to recognize Mrs. Carla Siaga, which was her idea. Please stand. It was her idea to put me front and center. So if it works well, I'll give her a hug. If not, I'll still give her a hug. But no, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. A friend showed me another former president and all these people, and I felt very encouraged. I saw the ball go all the way up and all over the place. I felt encouraged. But ladies and gentlemen, I just want to show a quick video on the Diaspora Conference, and then we'll get ready for the main act.
In the heart of the Caribbean, a call echoes across the globe. A call for a momentous homecoming. This June 16 to 19, join us in Montego Bay for the 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference. Jamaica extends a warm invitation to its global family for a gathering like no other to foster dialogue, development, and cultural immersion. This first in-person forum in 5 years offers a unique opportunity to explore innovative solutions for national development and to forge strategic alliances. We will address vital topics at the intersection of Jamaica's progress and the unique experiences of its global community. This conference is more than just a meeting. It's a melting pot of ideas and action. Born from an initiative in 1993, this gathering has evolved into a powerful movement that shapes Jamaica's policies and development strategies. From promoting investments to fostering heritage pride, the conference is a testament to Jamaica's proactive approach to engaging its diaspora. While at the conference, take advantage of fast-tracked government services exclusively for attendees. Plan and execute a Diaspora Day of Service activity in a community of your choice. Reconnect with our roots, network, explore business and development opportunities, and re-establish connections, all while savoring local cuisine. Our goal is action. We're not just talking, we're planning, executing, and growing together. Join us as we write the next chapter in Jamaica's story, one of unity, innovation, and collective growth. Register now at Diaspora Conference ja.eventbrite.com. Don't miss out, our early bird special of $160 for 3 days ends May 15. The 10th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference. United.
Thank you very much. If you're here and you would like to go to the conference, let me see a show of hands. If you're here and you don't want to go to the conference, all right, for those folks, you see, because you put up your hand now, I'm going to do something very special for you. But listen, we're encouraging everybody to come out and support, and it's an opportunity to be a part of the diaspora gathering that happens every 2 years. And we have Jamaicans all over the world that will be assembling in Montego Bay, Jamaica between June 16th to 19th. And then on the 20th, you join us for this Southern United States team as we adopt the clinic. And we're actually, I'll tell you here, we're going to be building a house for a lucky resident along with Victoria Mutual as one of our days of service. You can clap that. Yes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you are not here to hear me. You're here to hear another gentleman. This gentleman I trained for many years to get him to this point. In 2012, when I was marketing manager at Jamaica Broilers, a lady came in from the ad agency and encouraged us to diversify a part of our budget towards social media. And I said to her, social who? And I really questioned, I said, boy, these people want to push everything on us now. They might talk about MySpace and all kind of things. No, social media is the way of the world, whether you like it or not. Everybody is on social media, everybody's advertising, everybody's pushing their business forward. So whether we like it or not, AI is the way forward. And the presentation you're going to be hearing is going to put you at the head of the curve. Going to position you to boast in front of your grandpiggy and say, we know about AI and you're ready for it. So with no further ado, I'm going to invite Xavier to come back. We want to big up Island Space a little more, and then we're going to have our main speaker come forward. Thank you very much. You can clap me. Thank you.
So don't go to CG. Don't go to CG. I mean, imagine having an opportunity every week to come to a place, and I'll get to Island Space Museum in a minute, but where you have a space to talk, to hear lectures. This is what this man has put together. I know he took a break because of the high five, but based on what you have said to me, there's some exciting guests that are coming. And so I'm asking you, give CG a round of applause for putting something like this together, where he showcases people in our community, right here in our community, and you get information. Sir, I thank you for that. All right. So, I talk about a space where we are able to learn. We are able to, there's displays. You're able to show your art. There's so much. In 2020 during COVID, this space started. Khalib is not here. David is here. But they started this during COVID, and they've been able to sustain. I've used this space. I know many of you use this space. And so, it's important for us to support this. Bring our kids, bring our grandkids, bring our friends. This is a place where you'll learn about the Caribbean and Jamaican culture. So I encourage you, don't just come here and pass through. Every month, every week, there's something going on, right? Every week, there's something going on here. So don't just, let it be something that you pass through today. You learn about AI and then you're gone. Continue to visit, continue to support them. But without further ado, this gentleman here is I consider him a really good friend. His name is the former Mr. Sexy Man. His wife whispered in my ears and said, don't go by the name former sexy man anymore. He goes by the name Mr. Sexier Man since he has got married. So, David, tell us a little bit about the museum, and I'll turn it over to you.
So thank you so much, Xavier. It's always funny when, like Xavier, we're friends. People come to me and say, you know, ex-Xavier. I say, oh no. Nobody don't name that. Xavier, the man name. So I'm gonna just do a quick, because I know the program that we're here to hear about is not with my lead tonight. At some point in the near future, the CG will invite me to lead one of these, but it's not my night tonight. I do think, though, that all the men that are standing on the back wall holding up the art, if you don't mind, we have the art hanging on hooks. So you can sit up here and make the video look better, so we don't have any empty seats in the front. I would just be so thankful for that. Thank you so much. For all those men holding up the art. We don't need you guys to hold up the art. Thank you. So, again, just to be brief, welcome once again. This is your museum. Island Space Caribbean Museum belongs to each and every one of you here today, regardless of where you came from, because you are, by virtue of being here, a supporter of the Caribbean and the people from the Caribbean and the culture from the Caribbean. This is a celebration of Caribbean heritage. Many people said it could never be done. It has now been going on 4 years, as Xavier mentioned. It will continue to go because we are a very resilient and very strong people. And no matter what, this will go on. But I'm inviting you all to get more involved. There is a lot that I want to say. I'm going to rest for now. But to close the night, I will come back and just ask for your greater involvement, whether it be to donate artifacts, to donate your time. We have some wonderful, if you don't mind, give an applause for all the people who volunteer their time. There's some in the audience, there's some at the door right now, there's some in the back, but the volunteers, we could not continue Island Space without volunteers. Some people are retirees, some people are unemployed, and some people just make the extra time from their lives to volunteer. Believe it or not, I am a volunteer. I don't get paid to be here, and I am here a lot, and I give as much as I can. I have a new wife, so we can't give as much, but I still come and give my time. But thank you so much. Xavier, bring the main act, my brethren, Charles.
All right, thank you. And he said, big up him wife where she is. Stand up, man. Let the people them see you, man. You give new name. My wife could not be here today. Very important though, her birthday is tomorrow. All right, so, you know, I know Charles for a while, and I could do the regular type introduction and Charles to this and so on and so forth. And some of you know him also from the art space. You know, it's interesting that, hold on. Oh, all right. Boy, Charles, we're gonna rewind and come again because I've been told there's an announcement. The baseball tickets are going to be in the back. Justice Cheryl, we call her J-Lo. But Justice Cheryl in the back, if you're interested in going to the baseball tomorrow. All right, so Charles, you know, I've known him for a while, and I could give that regular introduction, but I want to do something a little different, you know. He sent me his bio, and, you know, I said to myself, I am kind of long still now. I don't know if I can stay here all night and read this bio. I mean, I have a whole lot of accolades and a whole lot of things going on. I'm sure some of you saw with the Bob Marley. Hold on again. Rewind and come again.
I'm sorry. Just quickly, this gentleman here is Kendall. He's a guy, he's actually signed me to play for the Marlins. But give me a round of applause, right? Kendall, all persons can get their tickets for tomorrow, quickly.
Yeah, so for tomorrow, we're doing a fundraiser for the Friends of UWI with Carla and the CD here for Jamaica. So we hope that everybody is able to come out. I do have some flyers for you guys to purchase your tickets if you want to. All of the proceeds will go for helping out the Friends of UWI. So I hope that everybody's going to be there. CD over here is going to be throwing out the first pitch. So that's going to be his test trial tomorrow. So I hope that everybody's going to be there. Okay, so he's been practicing.
Thank you.
Rewind and come again. All right. So what I did was this. I said this is a discussion on AI. So I took his bio and I dropped it in AI. And I said, hey, I don't want the 20 paragraphs. I just need 3 paragraphs. And so I'm going to just quickly read what AI gave me back based on the long bio he sent. And so this is to kind of demonstrate the power of AI and how you can use it for practical things. So it says, good day, everyone. Robotic, that part of it. It's my pleasure to introduce Charles Smart, a distinguished leader at the intersection of emerging technology, business strategy, and creative philanthropy. With over 20 years of professional experience, Charles has pioneered innovative solutions, driven transformative change across various industries. Charles is the founder of MetAiBlock, where he focuses on utilizing the power of AI, the metaverse, and the blockchain to provide strategic solutions, particularly in the franchise industry. His insights have made him a sought-after speaker at major expos and conferences across America. Charles established and leads the AI and Data Governance Center of Excellence, helping organizations like Macy's, CVS, and leverage their assets of economic growth and operational efficiency, risk reduction, and compliance. And there's another paragraph here, but it ends and says, basically, let's welcome Charles.
All of the wheel on come again. Thank you everybody for coming out. I want to big up CG for having these lecture series. I came to the last one, and it was one of the most impactful sessions that I had, because it gave such in-depth understanding about what was going on in tourism with Edmund Bartlett. And having series like this, I think, are really important to connect the Jamaican community with things that are important and things that are really going to impact us. So I'm really happy that he has asked me to talk about something I'm very passionate about. Give me 2 seconds to make sure that this is going to work out exactly the way I planned it. Do you guys see something on the screen? All right. All right, so today we're going to talk about AI. And before I get started, raise of hands who in here is using AI. Okay. So we have a room of experienced AI experts I'm speaking to today, so don't beat me up too bad. But what we're going to be talking about is AI for Jamaica. And we're going to take a step back and make sure everybody understands it, and then go through some practical ways, right, that it can be used. Sometimes these things are shiny little things that you hear about and they're not relevant to you, right? We want to make them very relevant. So quick background, I'm Jamaican. Hopefully you can hear my accent still. Been there a long time. From a place called Pear Tree Grove. Nobody hears about it. It's corner board of St. Mair and St. Catherine. Closest place you probably know is Guys Hill. I went to the school that Jamaica was named after, Jamaica College. Ran track there, and interesting fact, my father is Sierra Leonean, and I lived in Sierra Leone for about 7 years. And my great-great-grandfather is also a national hero in Sierra Leone. So those are a few things. I'm a girl dad. If anybody knows me, you've probably seen me. If you see me out, you'll see me with my daughter all the time. And I love to hike, I love to travel, tons of things, right? So that's a little bit about me. In terms of tech, that's where I've been for 24 years. So 24 years starting as a developer, writing code, making my way all the way up to the C-suite to help executives and boards to figure out their strategies around technology. And now I create frameworks, and I have a company that focuses primarily on helping organizations to figure out how to implement their AI strategies. So, and actually my business partner in that company is here with me today, Andre K. So, without further ado, we're gonna jump into it. Now, there's this book that I don't know if you guys are familiar with called Who Moved My Cheese? Right? You guys familiar with that book, right? So, Who Moved My Cheese is one of my favorite books. I read it, I think, for the first time almost 20 years ago. And when I read that book, it transformed the way I thought about things that come. You know, we kind of think that things are always going to stay the same, right? And if you haven't read the book is about change. It's about these rats and these little humans, hem and haw, and sniff and scurry. Sniff and scurry are the rats. And so they go to cheese stations, see every day, but they're always looking around to see, is everything the same? Has anything changed? While the humans, we go, and after a while we get comfortable. Think nothing is going to change. We stop, and we don't monitor that, hey, something is different. And one day we go to this cheese station, see, and there's no more cheese there, right? And we're shocked and we're upset. And we said, somebody did it to us. Who did it to us? Right? The rats. They say, well, no more cheese here. We put on my shoes and go find some more cheese. Right? And I talk about that because that is AI. CG made a reference earlier to social media and how when social media came out, everybody thought, I'm not going to be online all the time. Things are not going to be where people are going to be constantly online. Now, I'm sure every single one of you in here have a Facebook account, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, posting every day. You thought that you'd never tell your private stories and tell people about your life and your trips and all the things that you do. But if you don't post it, you feel like you did something wrong, right? And so that's changed. And I want us to take on that mindset as we go into this presentation today, to think about what is happening in the world and that things are not always going to stay the same and the change is going to happen. And so interestingly, this screen here was made by AI. Stephen Scurry, hem and haw, and the characters that you see here were created by AI. And I created these little screens for my daughter because I read the books to her when we're going, well, audiobooks. She listens to them in the car when I drive her to school in the mornings. And I wanted to make it real for her. So I created the characters and these are the sayings so she could have a reference to it. And going back to what Xavier said earlier, these are some of the very practical ways that you can use AI. It doesn't have to be something super complicated. It can be very simple how you apply it. Now, what is AI? So AI is nothing more than machines mimicking human intelligence, right? They don't have intelligence like us. They're just able to mimic it, right? And so AI, I want to break it out into 3 distinct areas. you have what you call narrow AI, right? Believe it or not, as intelligent as the AI that we have with ChatGPT and Bard or Gemini and Claude and all these different things that you guys might use, that is still narrow AI. And what the narrow part means is that the purpose with which it's set is very clearly defined. It's not able to, on its own, go and make a decision to do something that it was not made to do, right? It may do it better than you, it may do it more efficiently than you, but it will not be able to do something that it wasn't made to do. If it was made to generate text, it will not generate images. If it was made to generate images, it will not generate a video, okay? Now, general AI is where it gets a little scary because that's when the AI is literally able to do things and autonomously make decisions about what it's going to do. And we're not quite there yet. You think about Star Trek with the robot that was there, and you think about Jarvis in Iron Man. It's probably a more recent reference, right? But where you have that AI that's able to think and make decisions almost autonomously. And then the next level of that is super AI, and we're not there. That's where we cannot even think or fathom what it means, because that's where the intelligence supersedes and passes human intelligence, right? And we're quickly going there. We're quickly advancing through each of these phases, and I'll talk about that. But we're a little bit away from the scary super AI that is gonna, everybody's scared is gonna basically destroy humanity. Now, there are components that are a part of AI that I want you guys to understand. So I talked first about purpose. That's one of the first things that you do when you're creating this artificial intelligence models. You set a purpose. I created this thing to do this particular thing. And the other component that's important to it is data, right? That is its fuel. So garbage in, garbage out. And the data is text, it's images, it's video, it's voice, and it takes all that information and a whole lot of it in order to be able to be processed. And the things that process it are algorithms. And those algorithms are nothing more than rules, right? It says, look at all of this data, learn from this data, and then use the information that you were trained on, right, to generate more information or to produce data that's similar to the information that I was trained on, right? So you set a purpose, you give it the data that matches that purpose, you have an algorithm with rules, the rules crunch the data to create what they call models. So you heard recently on Monday that OpenAI came out with a new model, 4.0, that you've probably seen on Instagram and Facebook with all the videos, right? With it talking to yourself. Now, what the algorithms create are those models, right? And the more data they get, the more they train, and the more advanced those models become. And the final thing that's really important to make that happen are processors or CPUs. And those CPUs, you probably heard about NVIDIA's stock going up really high recently because they're making the hardware that is required to process all of this data. And it takes a lot of money, a lot of energy, a lot of processing power. It's like thinking about your brain working, right? So the processors are nothing more like you consuming a lot of energy. It's like when you work really hard, you have to focus on something really hard for a very long time. It takes a lot of energy out of you, right? Think about your processors in the same way. So these are the main components of AI, right? And I want you guys to make sure you guys get this part because when I go through it, it's gonna make a lot more sense in some of the things that I talk about and how that will impact how you think about it. So here's some myths about AI. People think AI is the same as robots, right? So intelligence artificial intelligence, right, is basically, when we think about human beings, we're two-part. We are physical, right, or won't go to the spiritual side and the other piece, but we are physical, right, and we have intelligence in our brain. And this part, the body, allows us to move, and our brain allows us to think and control how our body moves. So the robot is basically a physical thing, and artificial intelligence is that brain, right? So that's the separation between robotics and artificial intelligence. Now, AI can think like humans. As I mentioned before, it mimics the way humans think, but really it doesn't have our consciousness, right? It doesn't have emotions. It can mimic emotions, right? But it doesn't necessarily feel. But it can mimic it in such a way that it can even evoke emotions inside of you that make you think that it has emotions. It can talk to you in the tone, say the right words, and evoke it to make you think that it feels the same things that you feel. And then AI will replace all jobs. This one, part myth, but part true. It is going to take some of the jobs that we do today. It's already doing it. But it's also going to create jobs that we cannot think about today. If you're old enough to think about the internet when the internet came about, and now we have social media influencers that are making millions of dollars. If I told you that 20 years ago, you looked at me and laughed, right? So I want you guys to think about all of the website developers, all of the online stores, all of the application developers and apps that we use, and all the companies that make hardware to support the internet, right? And those are all new jobs that 20-something years ago did not exist. AI is going to do the exact same thing, except it's going to do it much faster than it took for the internet to come around. So yes, it's going to take some jobs, because there's some things we just don't need to do anymore, right? And it is infallible. It's not infallible, right? So it does make mistakes. You guys have heard about hallucinations, and making decisions, or you're asking ChatGPT something, it gives you back information that is kind of made up, right? So a part of what I would say with AI today is verify. You get the information, look at it, but verify the information that you get. I want to run through this part really quickly, but I want to say that AI didn't start yesterday. They've been working on this since 1950s, right? It's been a long time coming. And if you look at this map that I have here, we've gone from the birth of it, people thinking about it, to machine learning, where we train machines how to do things. And then we teach machines how to learn, right? Similar to how our brains learn. By giving it things to do, letting it make a mistake, learning from the mistake, correcting itself, and then figuring out how to do it better. Kind of like how your child learns something, right? Now we're at the stage where we're in the generative AI, that's where AI now is not just able to learn, it is able to generate new content based on the information that it was given. That may be completely different from the information that you could think of, because it has all this data from all of these different sources. And I'll give you a simple example. Who thinks you're the smartest person in the room, right? Take yourself, and now take everybody else's brain and knowledge and experience and combine it. All of what you've learned, what you've done growing up, everything. And now you have all that knowledge. The things that you will think about, because you have all that knowledge, is going to be very different from what you would think about based on your own experience. Now imagine a machine that has that level of information, but for billions of people, and all the books that have been written, 90% of the internet, all of the videos on YouTube, And all that information, they have that knowledge in one thing. And we are able to access that. That's where we are today, right? And that's only getting more data every day. We feed more data into it. And think now that it's taking the data that it's getting, and then we're providing it more information. And I'll go a little bit further and have you think about, let's say now it takes the data that it generates, right? And it uses that data as input for itself. So the smartest thing in the room generates data that you can think about, trains itself on that data, generates more data using the data it trained itself on, and that happening into perpetuity. That's going to be, that's scary, right? And that is where we see the future coming with general AI, which is the next step. Because at some point, that intelligence is going to surpass us. It's going to solve, and it's already solving problems that it would have taken humans literally millions of years to solve, and it can do it now in seconds. So, it's moving fast. I remember last year, there was a video that came out where they were talking about AI. Last year, January is about when everyone started to hear about ChatGPT. Seems like it's been around forever, don't it? It's only been a year, right? And there's so much that's happened in that very short time. So in that year, we've seen no regulations. We've seen, ChatGPT producing information that is completely wrong. We've seen a bunch of companies fumble, right? We've seen videos generated that look, I don't think I saw that video of Will Smith eating spaghetti, looking like he's eating his face, right? But we've seen that to video generation that looks just as real as somebody recording it, all made up. And I'm going to show you a video here. What I'm trying to say is the pace at which this change is happening is faster than anything that we've ever seen before. And if we are slow to act and slow to respond, going back to sniff and scurry, right, and hem and haw, and we hem and haw before adapting to this, we are going to get left behind, right? And this technology is not slowing down because the most intelligent thing in the world is teaching itself constantly and constantly improving. So if we don't jump on it and be part of that, it's not just going to be like the social media situation. It is literally just going to run past you. So I have this video here.
From Chaplin's silent
And this
jests
video
to the
is
immersive
about
realms of Avatar,
how,
cinema leaped across a century. Like
AI
McConaughey peering
has-
into the black hole, we now gaze into the future, where AI reshapes film's very essence. Tyler Perry halted his $800 million project, shocked by
But-
AI's potential to redefine filmmaking after witnessing OpenAI's Sora video generation wizardry.
Okay,
He stated,
that was my fault. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share on a video that kind of shows I'm not sure I'm echoing here.
It's right here. AI took over right here.
Yeah, but I'm going to show a video to kind of give you guys an idea about how quickly things have changed, right? Recently, we did a workshop in Jamaica for the creative industry to really help them to understand how this, how quickly AI is advancing, because the creative industry is one of the industries that's really being disrupted. So we created a workshop with JamPro to show them how to leverage AI. And this is the promo video for it. But it's gonna kind of give you guys an idea. Everything that you'll be watching here was created with AI, okay?
Chaplin's silent jet to the immersive realms of our cinema leaped across. Tyler Perry calls it his $800 million project, shocked by AI's potential to redefine filmmaking. After witnessing OpenAI's Sora video generation wizardry, he stated, "This will touch every corner of our industry." What's your corner? Only months ago, AI's attempt at Will Smith eating spaghetti was laughable. Now, with just a few keystrokes, Marvel and its evolution, a futuristic Lagos, a disco-dancing kangaroo, an underwater New York, serene exotic nature scenes, all from simple text prompts. No actors, cameras, sets, producers, or directors, just the alchemy of text and album. It's mind-blowing to think this is the baseline of how fast it will progress from here. Are you ready?
That video and everything that you just saw was created with somebody writing a text prompt. I want you guys to think about that for a second, right? So if you are a filmmaker, if you work on the set, if you're the person that does the makeup, if you're the person that makes the clothes for the set, if you're the actor, if you're the director, the producer, everybody in here now can be a producer, a director, a movie maker, by simply writing a line of code. Not even code, a sentence. If you can write a text message, you could have created something like that, right? So I want you guys to understand, you saw what it was like a year ago with that video of Will Smith and where it is today. And from this point forward, it's only gonna get better, right? So with that in mind, you see here, so we'll talk about exponential growth, and this is what it looks like with AI. We're right here right now, and what we're looking at is literally the pace at which things change. So if you're looking at this graph, you're wondering what kind of math is this? It's basically just showing you the more time that goes, the faster it's going, and the change is happening. So what would have taken 20 years to happen is now happening in months. And what we think will take months to happen today, a year from now, will be happening in hours. Okay? So that's just an understanding of the speed at which this is going. And with AI, humans, we've never experienced anything like this before. We have at no point in history ever experienced anything that is intelligent, right? We've created machines that can do things, that can lift things, that can push things, that can drive things faster, that can give us functionalities that we don't have, like flying and making planes. But we've never competed or dealt with anything that's more intelligent than us, that could create what we can create and teach itself and potentially create things that we couldn't even think about, right? So generative AI, we have, I'm going to kind of break down the different components of it. You have text, you have video, right? So ChatGPT, for example, you can generate text messages, right? Not text, but text responses. You send a text in, and it can send you back a bunch of information, right? Ask it questions, reason it, have a conversation with it. I'm actually going to showcase some of that to you guys today. So on my phone, and hopefully everybody by now has ChatGPT on their phone. I use it every single day. I'm just going to demonstrate how simple it is to use. So I'm going to open it up. This is my, hello. So I'm here, I'm making a presentation about AI to a group of Jamaicans, and I want to demonstrate your capabilities to them. Can you tell them a little bit about why it is important to utilize artificial intelligence?
artificial intelligence AI is transforming our world in profound ways. Utilizing AI is crucial because it enhances efficiency, reduces human error, and opens up new opportunities.
Actually, can you do that in a Jamaican accent? Actually, I want you to do that in a Jamaican accent.
Sure, I can do that. Hello everyone, artificial intelligence, AI, has changed up our world in a big ways. Utilizing AI, important content things more efficient, cut down human error, and open up new doors via innovation. AI.
Thank you. Now, it may not get it exactly right with our accent, right? But I'm sure you guys heard it attempting to speak patois, right? So, and by the way, that also got turned into a text, right? So, and I could continue a conversation with that on and on and on about anything. Ask it questions, reason with it, do homework, and that's ChatGPT. You can download that from the App Store, okay? And that's generative AI. So that content was generated based on a bunch of data that was trained on, right? And it knows how to communicate, it knows about Jamaicans, it knows that Jamaicans speak patois, and so it responded in the way that I told it to. It can also generate video, right? The video creation is still in its development stage, but we're making progress. We can also develop images, right? And we're gonna kind of show you something in a minute here, and audio, which of course you just saw. And there are some more advanced capabilities. So if you are a programmer, right? If you write code, right? ChatGPT and some of these AI models out there can write any language you can think of. So if you are a web developer or a data engineer, or you write code, or you want to figure out how to do something, ChatGPT can write it. It can help you to improve your code. It can help you to make better tests. And it can do it better than you because it knows the language and has seen all of the different code techniques that have been used out there by all the best coders, and can adapt that and literally do it better than somebody can. So if you are a coder, you can think about the impact that potentially could have on the work that you're doing. And of course, image captioning, using your camera, you can look at an image and tell you what it saw. If I took a picture of this right now, of the room, and uploaded it to ChatGPT, it would describe to me exactly what's going on. Now, I'm gonna do a demonstration to kind of show you guys some stuff. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show the generation of some of the content that I just went through a while ago, so you guys understand how that works. So I'm gonna go over to a tool called, it's Midjourney, and Midjourney generates images. And so I'm gonna generate an image of a person, and I am going to make someone talk to us here. And if you guys maybe time me for about 5 minutes, I should have someone here talking to you. What's going on here? Let's just make sure I'm in the right place. Okay, there we go. So Midjourney is a tool that generates images. So I'm going to generate an image here live on screen. And the image I'm going to generate basically is a photorealistic photo of a beautiful Jamaican woman facing forward. I did something. Oh, got you. Thank you very much. Okay, I need to just stop. Thanks. All right, so I'm generating an image using AI of a Jamaican woman. And that's what it generated for me, right? Now I want to take one of these images, and this basically is all with text. I basically just told it what I wanted to generate. I said generate a Jamaican woman with a background of palm trees and a beach, right? And I could go further to refine it and make it better. But I'm going to take the second image here, and this tool, you can select the image that you want. You can upscale it and make changes to it. And then I'm going to go ahead and save this image. So that was the image it generated. And I could refine it to make it look more realistic if I wanted it to. And save here. And now I'm going to go ahead and I want to generate some text for this, right? So I want to generate I want to make her say something, right? So I'm going to generate some text that I want her to say here using ChatGPT. So I'm going to ask ChatGPT to generate some text for this person to say to the audience. And then we're going to create an audio file of her saying that thing and make that person I just created talk. Can you generate two sentences that talk to the Jamaican audience, encouraging them to try AI and do it in action? All right. All right. All right, there we go. We got it. So now I'm going to take this text that I have here, I'm going to copy it. And this is ChatGPT I'm in. The first tool I used was called Midjourney to generate images. I'm in ChatGPT. I just spoke to ChatGPT, by the way, on my computer to generate this. And now I'm going to go over and I'm going to generate an audio file. Now, this is another app called 11 Labs. And 11 Labs allows you to clone voices. Right? So if I want to sound like anybody in here, I literally take a recording of your voice, I put it up in here, and I can make you say anything and make it sound just like you. But we're not going to do that today. We're just going to use a regular person. And I'm going to use this voice here called Mair. And I'm going to go ahead and create an audio file using the text that I just copied from ChatGPT. So it's generating the file, and let's see how it sounds.
Where we embrace the uplift in business and everyday life. We people, no make AI pass you by. Is it a future where we embrace the uplift in business and everyday life?
A little bit off because it doesn't have the accent, right? But we don't have the time here to go and train the voice. Nevertheless, I am going to go ahead and download this voice now and save it. And now, so this was 11 Labs. This is another tool that you can use to generate voices. So if you're a YouTuber or you want to create content, as you can see, you don't have to create your own content anymore. You could have everything generated in ChatGPT, come over here, copy and paste, and you have your audio file, right? Now, I'm going to go over to another tool, and this is called DID. And I'm going to create a new video. And DID basically allows you to take an image of a person, and I could take it could have been an image of one of you. I could have taken a picture, upload that picture, and put it here, and had that picture basically used to create a video of you saying something that you probably didn't even say. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the image that I created of that girl, and I'm gonna upload it. And then once that's uploaded, there we go. I'm gonna take my audio file that I just had, and I'm going to upload that audio file with her speaking that horrible Jamaican accent. And then we're gonna see if we can make her speak. So let's generate this video. And see what happens.
The uplift in business and everyday life. Meet people, don't make AI pass you by. This is the future where we embrace the uplift in business and everyday life.
All right, guys, I think that took me 5 minutes. Right? Now, that is the power of artificial intelligence. Okay? We created text, we created an image that never existed, we created a voice, and I made that image talk. I created a video, right? So the possibilities, right, are endless, right? And at the same time, a little scary. You also saw me talk to my phone, and I could have had a conversation with my phone consistently about anything, back and forth. I do it all day, right? But that is the power that you literally have today that was not available 6 months ago in your hand for everyone, right? So I'm gonna jump back over to the person. I'm emphasizing this, and I'm hoping that everybody's hearing the emphasis I'm placing on the importance of getting involved, because things are changing so fast, right? Now, so one of the important things with AI is prompting, right? Prompts basically is how you tell AI what you want. So for all of these tools, one of the most important skills that you need to have today is the ability to prompt, right? So prompting basically is crafting inputs, tailoring them, and there's a framework, if you will, to that. And you want to have a strategy, right? Remember, it's been trained on all this data, and you only have your own perspective. So when you're asking to do something, give it a little leeway. Don't be too specific. See what it might come back with, right? So it's a balance of being very specific with what you want and giving it a little bit of leeway so it can be creative in what it generates. And of course, it may not give you the response you want on the first time, so continue to experiment with it. Try, you might not like what the girl said, for example, right? I could have wanted her to say something a little bit differently, right? But you could change the prompt and ask her to do something else. But prompting ultimately is how you ask the AI to do what it is that you want. Now, this is a prompt framework. I won't have time to go through it today because of the time, but these are like some steps and a framework that you can follow, right? You want to tell the AI who it is. You want it to be a doctor. You want it to be a Jamaican. You want it to be an expert aki cooker. I don't know. Whatever you want, it can do it, right? Just tell it what it needs to be. And tell it what you want it to do. Tell it how you want it to give it to you. Do you want an image? Do you want text? Do you want it to be formatted a certain way? What is your goal? What's your objective? Why are you doing it, right? You want to be very clear and give it as much context as possible. Remember, it doesn't know you. It doesn't know you and why you're doing it. So the more context you give it, the more information that you give it when you're asking it to do things, is the better the responses that they're going to get from it. And of course, you want to tell it who you're talking to, tone of voice. Do you want it to be funny? Do you want it to be sarcastic? Do you want it to be angry? Give it those pieces of information so that it can basically respond to you in the way that you want. So we'll talk a little bit about the role of AI in the public sector, right? And this is where, there's so many, we could go on and on about all the different areas, but as we think about the impact on, Jamaica, and we think about the public sector and the different areas, one of the probably the most important is going to be education, right? Because if you think about how quickly over the last 20 years things have changed and how quickly they're changing now, what our kids are learning in school today may not be relevant, right? I know people who were in school a couple years ago for engineering and trying to be Python coders and programmers, and now they're wondering, man, I wonder what I went to school for, right? And so things are changing. And so we have to think about education differently. We have to think about what we're teaching our kids and how do we use AI to make sure that we're preparing not for the current world that we live in, but for the world that is going to come for our kids when they grow up. I think about that constantly with my daughter, about what world she's going to live in and the tools and skills that she's going to need to be able to survive in a world that's not going to look anything like the one I'm in today. Healthcare, we've been using it for some time, but you talk about it's important for us to start figuring out how do we use that to diagnose things, right? Healthcare is one of those fields where AI has made some significant advances in detecting and being able to identify things that doctors who would normally have to take a very long time to look at the scans and you wait 2 weeks to get your results back from a scan. Now, a couple seconds runs through an AI and you get the results back even before you leave the doctor's office, right? And so those are things that can change and transform the quality of life for people in Jamaica if we're adopting these kind of technologies and applying them in those different ways. You think about transportation, right? Driving around Jamaica is absolute fun. I love driving in Jamaica. That's not a joke. But they drive different, right? So, but there are ways that you can use AI to manage the traffic better, to manage the traffic lights, to have ways to be able to monitor what is happening, to automate the processes of sending out tickets to people that are violating or doing things that are not appropriate, right? And of course, public safety, which is one of the biggest concerns. There are so many different applications that you can have for AI. So many times crimes get committed by the same person all over the time, right? And this guy goes into this police station, give a statement, another police station, another statement, but they're all on pieces of paper, right? Or on a computer. What if there's an AI that was able to say, boy, I hear the same pattern of behavior all the time. Maybe it's this guy, right? And you can detect things because it can identify patterns. And so there's so many different ways that we can apply these things in the public sector, right, to be able to enhance our lives. In addition to that, business, right? All of us have gotten that, decline, and you're like as well, I don't have the money in bank account. A fraud detection, right? That's automatically an AI automatically sending a message out to you and decline the transaction because it is detecting that it's not one of your normal transactions or you travel and that happens, right? So AI is being used in that way, but it's also being used to be able to help you to not have to go to the bank all the time to do things. Instead the long time standing in lines, right? You can leverage AI to help you to provide better customer service, access to your information in a way that is secure, and artificial intelligence provides a number of solutions for that. Of course, in healthcare, we talked about already, and retail, right? All of us on Amazon, we see the recommendations that pop up, right? You click on this one thing one time, and like you go to another website and you see the same ad pop up. That's all a little bit of algorithms working together. Or you talk about something. I'm sure everybody here, after you leave here today, when you go on Instagram, you're probably going to see a million things about AI pop up on your feed because the phone is listening, right? So, but those are all algorithms that are basically looking at that information, being able to identify to be able to do that. And then content creation, right? What I just did for you guys just now was just that, right? So if you are a content creator, if you take photos all the time, I know we have folks online as well, listen in, but AI for marketers is a godsend, right? You can generate content in bulk in seconds. what would take you weeks or months to even put together strategies, you can do them in a day and automate those processes using artificial intelligence. And these are just the tip of the iceberg of the tools that are available to you. And then some of the roles for business functions. One of the things that we do, especially with the franchise industry, is we show them how to leverage AI in practical ways, right? So if you're a business and you want to figure out how do I optimize my business, we show you how to use AI in marketing, right? How do you create content? How do you use it to automate your processes? How do you use it to even keep track of what has happened and do analysis on that information? For sales teams, there is something that I saw a couple of days ago, and because of this new release that we have from ChatGPT 4.0, call centers are probably going to die, right? And that's a big revenue stream and a job creator for Jamaica right now for all of the business process outsourcing that we do there, right? And so how do we leverage that? How do we make sure that that is not going to affect those individuals? How do we transform and make sure that those people are going to be upskilled and not affected by that? Because those are the ways that people are going to start using it. If I can basically upload my list into a automatic system that calls you, you don't know it's an AI you're talking to, and can sell to you better than the person that's on the other end of the phone 24/7. They don't get tired. They won't complain. They won't call in sick. You don't have to worry about benefits. No physical building. There's no overhead. You know, people are gonna go, and capitalism is really gonna drive a lot of the behavior that organizations are taking today in how they make decisions about what they're going to do, which is what is affecting and causing the job layoffs. So we have to really start thinking about those things as well. And even for human resources, right? I know hiring people is one of the most painstaking thing of you get the job description, you get the person, you interview them, they lie on the resume, right? If you have an AI that can automatically go through all the resumes, look at the job description, figure out which one is the best one, pick the best candidate, ask them preliminary questions, right? Before they get to the you who needs to hire them, you've eliminated half of your time, right? But what does that do for your HR department? What does that do for the person who works in HR who used to do that work, right? So we have to rethink about a lot of these things and how they're gonna affect our workforce, right? And start preparing to make sure that those things are addressed because it is touching every aspect of life, right? And personal life. I have a friend in the room who lost 40 pounds because of AI. I won't call him out, right? But he had he bought this gym system and he put it on in his house. Took a picture of the gym system, uploaded it to AI, asked AI to create a workout plan for him. It created a workout plan based on the system that he had. Then he asked it to generate a diet for him to track the calories, and he would take pictures of his food and upload it. And over time, he trained the AI on how he ate and worked out. I think it was about 4 to 5 months, he lost almost 40 pounds. That's a practical, personal use of something you have right here, so in your hand. All right? Home automation, security, right? It's going to change the way we think about security for our homes. The Internet of Things has been around for some time right now where we connect everything to the internet. But with AI, we're going to be able to automate things, right? So it's going to know, okay, Charles normally comes home at about 4, but over the last 2 weeks, he's been coming home at 7. Let me change these things to adjust to what he's doing. Let me lock the windows, let me create these efficiencies to be able to change how his home operates. And those are very practical ways. Your entertainment is going to change. The way your content is created is going to change. Because you're literally, the way you think about watching television is going to change. Because you're going to be able to create content that you want to see. You don't want to see what's on Netflix? You might be able to type in something in the future and it basically creates a movie about what you want to watch, right? For an entire hour or a whole series if you want. And of course, we have the personal assistant. It is here, right? So these are just some of the things. I need like 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes, yeah? You guys give me 5 more minutes? Yeah? All right, thanks. So, and I hope this is giving some value to you guys, what I'm speaking about, right? All right then. All right. So some of the concerns that we have, of course, is scamming, the deep fakes. I just showed you that, right? Misinformation, infrastructure for Jamaica is a challenge because we don't have it, right? And because of capitalism as a driving force for why AI is moving forward, I see it as a major concern. I believe that AI should not be driven by capitalist agendas because it's not going to be focused on humanity as much as it's going to continue to cause disparity in our communities, right? And the bias is going to continue. And then the adoption. I think a lot of us here are in the, crossing over on the other side of the 40-year-old line, right? And a lot of times are slow to adopt or adapt to things. It is important that we get involved. And that is a concern because if we don't get involved, we're going to get left behind. And it's only going to create a bigger gap, right? And one of the things that AI is going to change because so many jobs are going to be taken and you're not going to have a lot of things that you can do anymore. I think there's going to be coming a time where we're going to have to rethink purpose, right? I don't have to do as much. I don't have to do anything. So what do I do with myself now, right? What do I do with my life? I think we have to start figuring those things. And the volunteer at the museum would be a great one. So these are some of the things that we can do from a regulatory perspective. And some of the concerns we have ethics, to ensure that there is going to be, the right policies put in place, clear transparency about that accountability. Bias is a big issue. Our data is not there, right? So if it doesn't know our data, it won't be able to provide content for us as well. And there's a bunch of other concerns around that, and the EU is taking that into consideration with the new AI Act. In addition to that, knowledge is no longer a commodity. Now, people may argue with me when I say that, but what you know, I know. And I can find out about it and I can know more about what you know faster. So what makes you still valuable, right? And that is where utility is going to become important. Do you know how to use something to create value? Do you know how to use the information that you have to create value? Do you know how to innovate? Can you be creative with the information that you have? And when I think about the skills and preparing my child for the future, these are the things I think about. How do I help her to problem solve? How do I allow her to be more creative? How do I allow her to innovate more? Because this is going to be the true currency and value in the future. It won't be what you know, because there's something that knows everything and more than you do. Compute is intelligence. And those who own compute own the money. It won't be how much money you have, it will be who has the intelligence. So who has access to intelligence is going to control everything. And for Jamaica, it's going to be really important for us to make sure that we are engaged with those global partners that are controlling the intelligence that is going to drive the value that people are going to use to create billions of dollars and so many new opportunities. And of course, the world everybody has a different perspective on it. America is taking the perspective of, hey, let's focus on sectors and regulate on sectors. And of course, it's being driven by private sector. In China, they're like, forget the ethics, let's just build as fast as we can. The EU is cautious in making all the rules, and companies in developing companies like India are being cautious about how they're adopting the technology simply because they want to make sure that they do it right. But my viewpoint on this is AI does not see any lines that we have drawn on our maps, right? It's in the internet. It knows the code better than we do. It will cross the code. It can hack itself, right? I believe that we need a global approach to how we handle and think about AI and the different policies and framework that we put in place. I'll be told to wrap it up, but Jamaica right now has a task force, thank God, and we're looking at it. We're in the pace of basically figuring out and discovering what is happening. The business sector is adopting slowly, but this is my, if you will, framework that I believe will help to be able to craft a holistic framework for Jamaica, and majority of that framework is based on leveraging what everybody else in the world is doing, right? Let's look at what everybody else is doing. We have a tendency to be the best at anything that we put our minds to. And so I believe that we could come up with something that could be transformative by looking at the different frameworks that everybody's adopting to be able to create something that's really unique. I want to thank you guys for the time.
All right, so we're going to take, I'm giving it 5 minutes because I know there's a few questions and then CG's gonna come back. 5 minutes of questions, Charles, if you could wait here. And while I say that, okay, just put your hand up and I'll come to you.
No, the battery's low, so you might want to plug it in.
Okay, the battery is low on that here. Okay, question in the back. I'll come to you with a question. While I'm going back there, for the scammers, remember, if you have a family, you need a family code. You need a family code. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you for your lecture. But it's always a but. I'm not allowed that. Okay. So I accept innovation and I accept technology. However, you said that AI, they are going to be some loss of jobs and some gain in jobs. You carefully say there are going to be more loss of jobs and less gain in jobs.
So that I think is, we are at a intersection right now to be able to forego what you just said. Yes, I do believe that if steps aren't taken very quickly for us to put the infrastructure in place, put the training and education in place, the upskilling in place, the ethics and governance in place to be able to control the guardrails around AI, yes, it will have a significant impact because it is not going to slow down. However, I believe if we put those things in place, it doesn't have to be something that's going to be a significant change. As I said before, my perspective is that capitalism is going to err on the side of low cost, efficiency, and productivity. And if it comes up against a human being, most of the time, currency wins.
I have a question. Thanks. So we know that Jamaica only has one energy company, which is JPS, right? And AI uses a lot of energy, as you know. And from a development perspective, you know that if AI is supposed to be in Jamaica, we're going to have to create a lot of data center to make sure that our information is secure. How would we approach this? Is it that you're going to use solar power? Because even JPS have issues even supplying people in Jamaica. So, yeah.
As a developing country, Personally, I don't believe that the way forward is to create our own AI. I believe it's partnership. I believe it's partnership and leveraging what the corporations that are building the advanced AI are using and incorporating that into our systems so that we can benefit from that and leverage it. The thing about AI and the way it's being, the race, right? It's almost like a nuclear race that's happening, right? Different countries are literally pouring hundreds of billions of dollars into that. We, Jamaica, don't have hundreds of billions to pour into AI with all the other issues that we need to solve. I believe the partnership is the way forward for us to be able to leverage it in a way that is going to be able to make a difference.
Okay, I have one more question, and then, oh, you have another one?
I just wanted to say there's one on the stream if you want to read one that's online. But you can
Oh, okay.
Mine will be quick. Do you think it's worthwhile for students to ask AI what the best profession for them to do for the future?
I think that's a great thing. A simple answer to that question I would say is yes. I would say start using it and explore with it. And that's for everybody. I think we're all students in this room.
Okay, there's a question.
Build wealth and also not to be left behind. So shift.
Got you. So we have a company called MetAiBlock, and we actually train people. If you go to this website right here on the screen, we actually have a workshop that you're able to get access to. It's at a fee. And it trains you, if you are a business or professional, how to use AI. Gives you tools, it's hands-on, it takes about 8 hours, right? And it's modular. You don't have to go through it all at once. But if you go through this, it will help you. And we also do individual consulting with organizations, sit down with them, figure out how to help them to solve specific problems, don't boil the ocean, and then of course we take you from there and help with the strategy.
Okay, the question online was, are young people in Jamaica being trained in AI? Have you heard of anything in terms of programs or anything like that?
In terms of that, their task force is looking at, that's one of the things that's on their focus right now. In terms of where that falls, there are programs like STEM programs at the universities that exist, but whether or not they're focusing squarely on AI is still not, I don't think, at the level, but I think that's coming based on how the task force, because Jamaica is still trying to figure out the guardrails that need to be put in place before it's applied.
Okay. I have one comment that I want to make in terms of child stress involvement. If you are not involved as a community, you're going to be left out. I use this example all the time. If you go to the bathroom sometimes and you put your hand in front of the light and it doesn't come on, and somebody with a fair complexion comes and they rub their hand, all of a sudden, boom, the water comes on. The water comes on. Now, understand testing was done with a certain group, and a certain group was tested. My point being, my point being is this: if you don't get involved and it doesn't learn about you, the information that is pushed out about you is going to create a narrative that you did not want. That's all I'm saying. So this is one of the reasons that Charles and I have spoke about this a lot. You know, you have to get involved, have a knowledge, because this thing is moving really, really fast. It is coming really fast. Charles, thank you. CG, thank you for putting this thing on. Thank you, sir. Charles, you're gonna be in the back for more questions. We have to be out of here by 8:30. CG as a special announcement.
Thank you very much. How many persons enjoyed this evening? Special of hands. Yes? I have 3 quick prizes for a tour in Jamaica, Kingston tour, free of cost. If you can tell me the date, the date of the diaspora conference. Right. All right, hold on. Boy, that's too easy. Who in here? All right, first person to like my Instagram page, Mair Oliver. If you haven't done it already, Mair Oliver. Everybody be third.
I love it. I love it.
Love it. Okay. Tell me the name of the 92. No high five can answer this. Tell me the name of the 92-year-old who participated in the high five. All right. What's the name of the lady, the 92-year-old lady? If you're in the high five group, you can. Huh? Everybody's a high five. We don't mean regular. What's her name? Miss Jeannie. You're close. Who's that? We just guess that Miss. Huh? Close. It rhymes with Tina. Who said that? All right, one more prize. Yeah, throw the question now.
All right, yesterday was the birthday of a great Jamaican female athlete.
Naughty.
Start has C the initial. Veronica Campbell.
Give them a round of applause. How many persons here want to go to the diaspora conference? Just show up hands if you want to go. Come and check me after. I might give you a special surprise. If you sign up tonight, I'll give you a special surprise. Right? Come and check me after. Ladies and gentlemen, before I hand over to Mr. I will never call his name right here, but my brethren from Campion. I want to thank you all for supporting our monthly lecture series. Thank you now. Yes? We'll send out the advice of the next lecture session, but please come out and support the baseball tomorrow. Guys, you don't want to miss it. I will be practicing all day. I'm going to be entering to the One Love music in the Jamaican outfit, and I will going to strike out the brother. All right? Thank you. Huh?
Everybody, if you participate here today, I'm going to provide you with a nice jersey tomorrow.
Wow.
Don't see me, and I will make sure that you get that jersey.
How much are the tickets? How many tickets play you want? 25 of the tickets. How much are the tickets? 26 and 27.
And you get a free jersey.
A free jersey that's worth $50.
That's
way about the ticket.
Look, but I do have to take a point of order, please.
Again, we want to thank you for being here, supporting this effort by the Consul General. I will not let you leave without asking if you have $1, $5, or $20 to give to the museum. We will take it. Some people call it a tithe. I don't call it that. I call it your conscience. The young lady here has a green bucket. It's literally just a drop. If you don't want to drop cash and you want to sell $5, that's fine as well. But I do sincerely, I hear CG wants to say something. So I'm gonna let CG. Oh.
No, I just saying I'm giving.
Oh, and here's guys right here, setting the example.
I'm setting an example. Don't zero in too close to the contribution.
If it's even $1, it is acceptable. It's even one, because here's the thing, people don't realize that it is these little sums that add up that get us to the finish line. That is how we keep the doors open. It's not the only way. We write grants, we do paid events, we do a lot of different things. But it is really important that when we can, if we collect 30 or 50 or $100, it really helps what we're doing. So we genuinely thank you. Remember that we have free beverages in the back. So if you want a cookie or water or wine or Grace tropical beverages, I have to tell you, Grace has been a great partner. They've given us lots of wonderful things. So those types of volunteers, we have to give thanks to the people who sponsor at the museum. Have a safe journey home, everyone. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your patronage. Have a great night.
Do I just leave? What do I do? I did.
Absolutely. I see that one of our community members who is running to be a judge. If you need it, if Ms. Tamar, we just show her hand. I want to tell you that we know this lady, we know her personally, and we support any of our diaspora members who are lawyers, who are good people, who are putting us on a ballot to be a judge in Broward County. We do not have judges from our community, and we certainly support Tamar Hamilton. So if you see her name on the ballot, Tamar Hamilton, please vote. She needs our votes. Votes are most important. Yeah.